Previously on Spenelli Speaks. We chose Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. Hi everyone, Danny here. Welcome back to my channel. Another day of reviews in my 31 days of book reviews. And again, I keep saying this, but I'm just so excited about the fact that everyone gets to vote in the comments, because when I was a kid, I used to love those choose your own adventure books, and I feel like this is like my way of like doing my own choose your own adventure on my channel. So I've been really excited about that. And it's only gonna get better because it's only like the beginning of the month. So we're gonna keep this train rolling real fast. And today you all selected Young Jane Austen, Becoming a Writer. Now this is a nonfiction book, so if you're looking for something to read for Jane Austen July that is a nonfiction read, this definitely fits the bill. Now what I will say about this book is I liked it and I'm happy I read it, but I was a bit confused about its format. So before we get into that, remember we are going to be selecting tomorrow's review, so stay tuned to the end of the video so you can go ahead and select what I will be reviewing for tomorrow. So for today's review, this is Young Jane Austen, Becoming a Writer. Now, beautiful cover and beautiful style within. You can see like this is old book pages, and then it has a floral background. And then as you get farther into the book, like that keeps going, all of a sudden there is a section that is the book again, and then notes. So it's like an annotated piece. And then when you get about a third of or 3/4 of the way through, then it switches again to like about Jane Austen, and it's like historical bits and bobs about her, and then of course references and index in the back. So that's what I mean by I was confused by its formatting. So before we get into my confusion, let's talk about what I did like. So in the beginning, like I said, you have this really beautiful, almost like old style book, very pretty pictures or sketches almost, and it's all about her young life. So from infancy into like I would say age 11 or 12, and it just kind of gives a very like storytelling way of her life. So it's not very, it doesn't feel like very factual, though it does have facts in it. It's just kind of like, oh, la 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 la, this is what happened. And I liked that because I was like, oh, this is so cute. Like this is like nice. And then at the very end, it just ends. It just like, I'll tell you, I'm gonna, huge spoiler here. So the very last like chapter is called Beginnings, and it literally is this. So you have this picture and you have these little lines, and it says, even if you were only a girl, words made you mighty. Words, stories, books. They could take you anywhere, and they could go out anywhere into the world. Jane, picked up her pen and began to write. So then I'm assuming that I'm gonna turn the page and I'm gonna have more about like her juvenilia and all that kind of stuff. Nope. Now I get to the annotated section where it's literally it's the book again. So it's all of the book. So this is the first section, which was called Jenny, and it has the verbiage that was on that page, and then it gives you notes about it. So then you find out where the actual historical references are from and like where the actual facts are, because realistically no one really knows all that much about Jane Austen's early life or life in general. So it's all very speculative, and from like letters and accounts from other relatives. So this kind of gives like other stuff, and it references like this may be, you know, where she got the idea for Darcy, or this may be where she got the idea for Mansfield Park. And so it's like all these notes. So now I feel like I'm reading a reference book, and it's like, oh, well, this is different now, when I so much enjoyed this very whimsical kind of telling of her life. And then I go here and I didn't reread, because I'm like, why would I reread that? So I just read the notes. And then I get to this next section, which is about Jane Austen. And then here it goes through like, she wrote 6 novels, and, you know, what was she like? So, I mean, I feel confused because I feel like this is like 3 different formats within one book. So why did you do that way? Because I feel like the very first section was so good. Like, I really enjoyed it. And I feel like you could have just stuck with that and just elaborated more, and maybe even put in some of the notes as interjections within this very cute, whimsical storytelling of her adolescence, instead of like, here's a very pretty story that seems very fictional, and then here's all the notes that make sure that this is what I actually meant. And then, well, I'll go ahead and tell you what actually happened. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. This is a terrible review. I would say, and this took me less than an hour to read, so I enjoyed it in the fact that I really enjoyed the very first section. The very first section really drew me in. I was captivated. I loved the sketches. I loved the way that it looked like an old book. It just felt very Jane Austen to me. I really liked it. And then when I got into the next section, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to read this all over again and then read all these notes. And then the last section, I was like, oh, what? So by the time I was done, I was like, I'm over this book. But I do recommend it if you are a Jane Austen fan. I think that very front piece is very cute. I really liked that. It really brought out things that I did not know about Jane Austen, so I really enjoyed that piece. For instance, I didn't know that as a infant, she was sent off to like another home until she was a child of reason or something. That's how the mother would put it. Like they could come back when they could kind of do things on their own. So like at 18 months, it seems like they would come back to the actual household, which is a very Victorian way of raising children. So it's interesting that she continued that with her own children. There were 8 of them. So very interesting. So definitely pick this up if you're into Jane Austen. If you're looking for a nonfiction, it's a very quick read. The very front is super whimsical. I know Laura from Book Bubbler is probably like, stop saying that word. But yeah, I did enjoy this. So that's that. Kind of a really mishmash of a review, and I apologize, but that's how I feel about the book. And now it's time to pick out what we're going to be reviewing tomorrow. We have something a little bit different, a kind of love story, I guess you could say. And this is Kristin Lavransdatter, which is a translated work from, it looks like, I think it was Normandy. And it's by Sigrid Undset. And this is part of a trilogy. I'll be reviewing just the first piece of that trilogy. So this one is Kristin Lavransdatter, The Wreath. So if you would like me to review that book, select that in the comments below. Or I have an Ursula K. Le Guin, The Left Hand of Darkness. So let me know if you want me to review this one tomorrow. So again, you have the choice of Ursula K. Le Guin's The Left Hand of Darkness for me to review tomorrow, or a translated work of Kristin Lavransdatter, The Wreath by Sigrid Undset. So 2 definitely different kind of books, but let me know which one you want in the comments below, and I will review that for you tomorrow. Well, until next time, I hope you are reading something great, taking care, and staying safe. And as always, you know how it goes. Happy reading. Bye.